Hello everyone, my name is Joe Garfey, and today we're going to be learning how to do this rolling text animation. First step is going to be creating our composition. We will call this our main comp, where everything will sit inside. I am doing 4K, 3840 by 2160 at 23.976 frames a second, and we're going to do our duration at 8 seconds. So the biggest thing to remember when making this rolling text animation is that both words that we're going to be starting with and ending with are the same amount of characters. So for my instance, I use this as a setting slash like location type of animation in a documentary that I produced and edited. So to get started, we're going to grab our type tool or Control T, and we are going to write our text. So winter space 24, and I don't know why that is set like that, but I'm going to hit 0 on that, so that way the spacing is normal. And we're going to write our second word, Canton, MA. We are then going to grab both of these. We're going to come down to our line, and we are going to get these to be in the center of our screen. If I individually click, there we go. And for now, what we're going to do is we are going to turn off Canton, Massachusetts, and we are going to just have one text for now. And basically what we're going to do is we are going to make multiple text, and we are going to retype out winter 24, and we'll do the same thing with Canton. Biggest reason why we do it this way is so that way in the future, if you're doing this for a client or even for yourself, and you bring it into wherever it's supposed to belong and you don't like the font, we can come back and we can easily change that, and I'll be sure to show you how to do that towards the end. But for now, I'm going to begin typing out all of the letters, and I'm going to do that for winter, and then I will stop back in. Okay, so now that we have winter retyped out, I did go back in and I did change the color of the text to white because this is the final color of what I would like the text to be. I am going to now turn off our bottom text here, and I'm going to quickly grab all of this text, the new text that we just created, and I'm going to change that to purple. This way it's just organized inside of our composition, and it's easily identifiable for what letters will go to what. But now that we have that, I'm going to turn off all of those letters, and I'm going to bring up Canton, Massachusetts, and we are going to do the same thing. Okay, so now that we have all of our letters separated and individual layers, we are basically going to start building out, I guess, like a grid of sorts. Not exactly a grid, but we're gonna start moving around some of these letters so that way we can position them to where we need to, so that way we can then pre-compose them to do our final animation. So for now, I'm going to turn on all the letters. We know winter 2024 is what we're going to start down here on the bottom, and we're going to land with Canton at the top. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to grab the right end of these numbers, and I'm just going to slide them up, and then I'm going to slide this one down, and so on and so on, and we can get fun with it. What you should be seeing is you should kind of be seeing the main word that we want to start with right here, and then we want to kind of have the furthest letter away from the center spell out Canton. So C-A-N-T-O-N-M-A. And this is what we will be switching to, so they are the furthest away. And then quite simply, what we are going to do is we are going to grab each row of letters here, that was a bad example, each row of letters here, and we are going to pre-compose them into their individual things, and then after that we are going to make shape layers to basically do a mask or alpha matte, so that way we can position and move keyframes so that way they slide through them and they disappear and they appear. So really quickly, what we can do is we can grab here, we have our letters, we can right click, pre-compose, and I like to stay organized, so let's call this letter 1. And we are now going to have to manually, because this is now the entire size of our screen, you can see these dots, so it does get a little bit in the way. If we want to, we can also turn it off like that, rather than having to go in here and individually find them. I just find it easier, but now we can pre-compose, call it letter 2, turn it off, grab the next set, pre-compose letter 3, and just pretty much continue that until we have all of them pre-composed. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, we're going to grab our rectangle tool, or you can hit Q on the keyboard, and basically within the same shape we are going to draw a box here. We're going to have it go right over top of winter, and then in the same shape layer we're going to click and drag and cover up these letters as well. So we should be left with 2 white boxes with winter directly in the middle, and from here we are going to use this shape to do a track matte to get rid of those other layers. So how we do that is we are going to come here, shift select all of our letter comps. We're going to go click on one of these. We are going to make it the shape layer, and we are then going to click on this column of boxes, and we are going to switch it to the Luma matte, and then we are going to invert the matte, which now gets rid of all of those letters because they are hidden behind our boxes that we created. And this is essentially where we can then animate our letters to roll through and land where we want them. So without further ado, we can start laying down some of those keyframes. I'm gonna head out to the 1 second marker here. I'm going to shift click all of these, hit P, so that way we get all of our position keyframes. I'm going to lay down keyframes for all of them. While they are still selected, I'm going to hit F9 on the keyboard to easy ease them. And then I'm going to move out to, for now, just the 3 second marker. And from here, I'm going to click away because some of these we have to slide up and some of these we have to slide down. So starting with this one, I'm going to slide it down to here. And what I'm even going to do is I'm going to turn on the Canton highlighter red text, so that way I can make sure we land in the right spot. But yeah, we are just going to move through all of our letters here, and we are just going to set keyframes for each one of these depending on which way they go, and we are just going to slide them around. And we are going to do that really quickly, and I will be right back. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to come back here and turn off our guide. And essentially what we are going to do from here is we are going to grab all of the right set of keyframes. We're going to come over here to the graph editor with all of those selected. We are going to pull it just a little bit in, come back over here and do the same thing. This is just going to give it a faster middle and a slower beginning and start. For myself, I'm kind of lining it up on the 2-second marker to be the fastest. And then we can see how that starts a little bit slower and ends a little bit slower, with it being the fastest right in the middle there. And then after that, I like to add a little bit of variation. This part is a little bit more up to taste. For me, what I think I kind of want to do is I want the first letter to have a chain reaction where the first letter will change and then so on and so on. So to start with that, I'm just going to highlight all of these, and now you can either click and drag to pull by your keyframes, or what I like to do is I like to hit Alt and then right or left arrow key, and we can move things one frame at a time. I think what I'll do to start is I'll stagger everything by 2 frames, so Alt, right, and then I'm gonna hit Shift and drag this out over like that, so that way I deselect that next set of keyframes, and then hit Alt, right arrow twice, and then same exact thing, hit Shift, box select, so that way we deselect that row, and we rinse and repeat this motion, so that way we can essentially quickly stagger. If anyone has a faster way of doing this, I'd totally be down to hearing how to do that, as this is something that I do quite often. And sometimes you can have a lot of layers that need to be quickly offsetted like this. But if we quickly play through it, we can now see that that first set of layers starts first, and we can kind of see that that A is the last one to finish here, and this half of the word is no longer moving. I like offsetting a little bit. And then additionally, I'm kind of a sucker for randomness. I think there's a lot of randomness that goes on in life, so I like to kind of apply that to some of my art. So I will just kind of quickly come in here and just change up the duration of some of these keyframes like so. So we just get a little bit more randomness now. And we can even do so a little bit if we wanted to on this side of the aisle, just to add some randomness with still keeping a little bit of the fact that it is still staggering itself in that direction overall though. I think I will call it good there, but I will show the reason why we kept these all as text layers and we didn't convert them to shape layers or duplicate the text multiple times and then convert them into shape layers, so that way we could individually move them. Basically, if you hop on inside of here, we can see the original text, and what we can do is say we don't like this and we want it to move to where it is a different font. For now, I'm just going to change it from black oblique to regular, and I'm going to quickly go through all of these and kind of show you what that looks like if we change everything. And okay, so now that I have changed everything, we can see that our letters are rotating. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I look forward to hopefully making some more of these.